with the show. Why?
Wireless.
Vehicle Voltron. There are some diehard fans.
There are some diehard fans on the Facebook.
And I know a guy who I believe you might know as Dudley Droolright.
Okay, yes, of course. Yes.
Okay, he's on the Voltron forum.
Yeah.
Gregory Tyler, if you're watching this is my shout out to you. He is an amazing Vehicle Voltron fan.
Right.
He is building, out of 3D printing, a
that's
Panache
right.
Place Vehicle Voltron.
That's right, I remember reading about that.
He's customizing all the
That's
pilots and all that stuff. So I guess my point in saying that is, Vehicle Voltron has this huge following.
Rapid.
Yeah.
Let's not call it huge, let's just call it rapid.
Rapid, okay. It's huge for the people that...
Very
love
loyal
it.
following.
Yes,
yeah.
very loyal following. Is there a plan for Vehicle Voltron right now, or is it a wait and see how other things pan out?
There is always some type of Vehicle Voltron project that we're pushing, and it's not us, doing anything to purposely put Vehicle Voltron on the back burner, but the fact that Lion Voltron is just more popular and that's the one when people think Voltron, they think of that. Now, the hardcore fans know, that was just one of many. So, yes, there are projects. We're looking into comic book opportunities with Vehicle Voltron that would really continue the series. And Vehicle Voltron fans were just kind of maybe a little bit more ahead of their time as kids and kind of enjoyed entertainment. That they were maybe reading the Doctor Who books before any of us or stuff, and enjoying Star Trek and kind of, heavier themes to their sci-fi. And it was a much more sci-fi show, whereas Lion Voltron, as we know, lovingly fell into that, formula.
I know that you made sure that he was represented in the Toonami lineup as far
Absolutely.
as the vinyl and the...
Yes. And I'm always begging George, let's do something more with that. Let's, when's the Vehicle Voltron Masterpiece Edition? So it's just about every phone call I'll remind him of Vehicle Voltron fans, or Car Voltron, as the casual fans
because
call it.
Because even robot collectors who aren't necessarily...
Oh, it's a great design. That's the one I had. I mean, that's the one just in getting together with friends and land, air, and sea teams, I wanted to put it into Voltron Force. I can remember Todd saying, we can't put all these characters. We already have so many characters. So we were trying to figure out a way without putting, Jeff and Crick and all these people in. How can we do Vehicle Voltron without doing, all the characters and stuff that it would take. And I bet you season 2 of Voltron Force, we would have found a way to put in Vehicle Voltron.
Okay, so there's this Vehicle Voltron bootleg.
Ah, yes.
What's
Miracle Toys?
There's some buzz around it. There's some negative buzz.
Yeah.
There's just some infamy.
It's unfortunate sometimes in this business of play that just communication lines and just contracts and all that kind of boring stuff kind of gets in the way of getting great product into fans' hands, and that's a perfect example of something we wanted to do for Vehicle Voltron fans. We never really saw a prototype or anything coming our way, and I know I've never touched it coming across the desk. So if I can't touch it, I can't say to fans that this is an official product if it's never come across any of our desks here, whether that be Tiffany or Bob. So unfortunately, we're in a situation where Miracle has chosen, I guess, to put this toy out there, but it is buyer beware, and it is kind of buy at your own risk, because that unfortunately isn't an official Voltron product. So I'm hoping in the future maybe we can make some kind of arrangement with George at Toynami, who would certainly be able to get that product up to where it needs to be.
Voltron Force.
Okay.
Voltron Force runs for a full season.
Okay.
At Comic-Con,
right.
San Diego Comic-Con that year, Mattel
right.
had showcased, I believe this was the 2011 preview, Mattel had
right.
showcased the classic Matty Collector in the case, and then on the other case at a right angle,
right.
they had color prototypes
right.
of the Voltron Force Lions that they were going to sell as toys.
I know, right?
Now,
cool toys.
Yes, as we all know, all of us kids of the 80s, if you never saw the show but you saw the cool toy, you didn't have to know the show to pick the toy up from the toy aisle.
Right.
From where I'm standing, I see Mattel come forward and they say, man, Voltron's still got a following. They've sold so many Toynami.
Were you in that meeting?
Voltron,
how do you know they talk like that?
Yeah. this guy's, we got to get ourselves a piece of this. Like,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And they go, let's see if we can, preying on the nostalgia of fans, let's make sure that we can secure the rights to Voltron merchandising for their latest project,
right.
so that we can also get the rights to make
right.
a classic Voltron from Mattel. This is my perspective.
Right.
And then what happens is they make up these prototypes of some very cool looking lions.
I know, they're amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
And you line them up and you say, we're going to merchandise your new show too, to
right.
create product support.
Right.
I sat back after it was all said and done going, you know what? Where are these lions?
I love it.
I feel like WEP has been betrayed.
Whoa. I wish it was as simple, and I'm saying I don't even fully understand exactly reasons, but from whatever, big computer that says, audience engagement, Nicktoons clearance, price to mold, which I know is very expensive to mold up on these toys. So yeah, I don't think it's quite as simple as that. I know there was a lot of talk around that time of letting the entertainment give it a year, and kind of then do toys, whether or not that is a successful strategy is not mine to say, but that's what I remember. I mean, I kind of thought like, wait a minute, you remember how it was, and I don't think it's changed having my son. It's like, you see the show, you want the toys, or you go and you see the toys and you want to watch the show. For whatever reason, it just, wasn't in the cards, which happens all the time with different, lines of toys and things that are supposed to come out. And I think we're in a really changing world. Anybody can see just the way that people consume media, particularly kids right now, just, living on iPads and where they consume that media. So I think a lot of those challenges came into it.
Do you think that if Mattel had put out Voltron toys
this is good.
concurrent with Voltron Force, that Voltron Force would have been more likely to have gotten a second season?
It's hard to say. I just, all I want is my yellow center Voltron with the wrecking ball maces and chainsaw wings. Is that too much to ask? So it's tough for me to say. I think it certainly wouldn't have hurt, and I think so. There's a lot of factors, and the fact that there wasn't a big Voltron Force consumer product line, I think certainly didn't help future episodes of it. So, but we'll see. I'm continued fans who can still want to see those toys and still want to see more episodes. Just leave a review on Netflix, because that seems to be the new battleground for a lot of these things. As far as Netflix goes, and once again, I think DreamWorks Animation, a lot of the stuff they'll be doing will fulfill a lot of that need. And now we're with George Toynami, who plans to kind of pick up right where he left off, starting with the 30th anniversary figure, which is the best version of that masterpiece figure you're going to get, with the stand and base and the sounds and things and all the weapons in it. And now even Light Up Eyes is like icing on the cake. But he's not going to stop there. He has further plans. He shared this on his Facebook for like a kind of a true Shogun Warriors one that would roll and things. And then he even wants to take it further, what he's calling like, the ultimate super duper, end all be all Voltron somewhere down the line. So he's going to do more and more Voltron cool collectibles.
It's good to hear though that they're looking at Toonami's looking at doing a super deluxo with all the
He's
stuff
got some
later.
idea that he is just going to be like, this one's, the end all be all. But I think that's a ways down the line.
Because you've probably heard everybody begging for a Bandai Soul of Chogokin.
Yeah, and we totally love everything Bandai's doing. And for whatever reason, it just kind of didn't, I talked to my buddy Adam over there, and we were very close to kind of getting together on something about that, because I would love to see that too. So maybe down the line. Voltron's
very popular. But do you have an interest in relaunching, or have you guys been looking into things like Vitor or Denver, Saber Rider?
Sure, we're always looking to reinvigorate some of the classic franchises. Particularly Denver is very popular in a lot of international territories, and we're actually talking with a group out of France who's interested in reinvigorating that show. And we got some initial interest over in MIPCOM this spring, for doing a new reimagined Denver show, which actually we're looking at potentially doing a animated / live action hybrid, which will be a fun interpretation of the classic show. And it's with Denver, it's kind of an ideal time for Denver to be relaunched right now. It's a big, 80s culture's kind of come back around, and it's very popular right now. You see it in a lot of TV shows and movies. The resurgence of '80s, and Denver is the consummate '80s show. It's about California teenagers who are into, skateboarding and BMX biking, and they've got the sporting '80s clothes. And Denver has those pink Wayfarer sunglasses and wails on an electric guitar. So it has that theme song that's like infectious that a lot of people remember about it. Saber Rider is another show that we've actually just recently been talking about bringing some new content together. There's a number of international territories where that's really popular, and it's a matter of finding the right partners and bringing them together and getting something going there. So that could also be a live action play potentially, or go back to its animated roots.
So we just announced a Saber Rider comic book that's coming from Lion Forge Comics, which those guys are doing an incredible job. It's going to be a digital comic. Marguerite Scott is writing it. We're going over some of the artwork now, but that's how we're going to start to relaunch the Saber Rider universe. We've just started a brand new kind of agreement with Studio Perot, so we're working hand in hand with them. We're looking to possibly even restore the original show. So this is just the beginning of kind of the Saber Rider resurgence. We're working with a guy, Chris Straub, in Germany about a possible Saber Rider video game. He's so super ultra passionate about it that he wants to launch a Kickstarter, and he's kind of gathering up the materials there. And then I just saw a design for a Ramrod USB drive from Incubot.
You've engaged your fan base for your properties through social media in ways that major movie studios have failed to do, even up till now. You guys have really knocked it out of the park, while other companies have what I'm calling glass walls between the fans and the creators.
Thank you.
The access is professional, but at the same time, it's not fake. You engage in active outreach with your audience through the Facebook and the Twitter and through interviews like this. Can you tell me a little bit about what prompted this level of access between your company and your fans?
I don't know if they build a wall on purpose. The thing is, it takes effort. I mean, it takes time and energy to have this ongoing dialogue with fans, and unless a major media company appoints a person and says, okay, you're going to be our social media person, I mean, a lot of time that position just doesn't exist. The reason I think we're fortunate to have a guy like Jeremy, who is truly a fan, and his interaction with other fans is just totally natural. There's nothing about it that comes off as him, performing a corporate role. In fact, he'd probably be doing that if he didn't work for World Events. He'd be doing it anyway.
Right. I don't think this is anything by design as much as it is a credit to, my boss, Ted Kopler, and now, his son, Bob Kopler, and just giving Tiffany and I the freedom to be ourselves and interact with fans. And it's just one of those things that kind of comes naturally, where, like I said, you and I are almost cosmic twins here in many ways. So it very much is, the lunatics running the asylum. And, I think it's just a testament to them and the fact that this is a family-owned, giant iconic robot place that you get that level of intimacy. And it's something, I guess, yes, by design, we certainly pride ourselves on, look, you've got the supervising producer of Voltron Force actually on Facebook listening to comments and getting feedback and making that affect the show. So it's just one of those things that was just fortuitous, where you've got a family-owned brand and giving us the freedom to, kind of be ourselves. Voltron is not in this, portfolio and some mega corporation.
You guys did a research study where you reached out to your fans, much like you already do through social media, but this time in a very different way.
Right.
You engaged them in a very detailed, intricate level of knowledge about Voltron and about what they've seen, what they want to see. What was the purpose behind that study? If you can tell me, what are you hoping to apply that knowledge to, those findings to? What are you hoping to take that?
Right. Well, I mean, it's simple in that, given our new relationship with DreamWorks Animation, we all wanted to sit down and really find out what are those core ideas and themes that resonate here after nearly 30 years of Voltron, and how can we incorporate that in any new entertainment moving forward, or any new things moving forward. So it's just always good to kind of recalibrate the compass, and it seemed like during the 30th anniversary, as we approach that, that's a good time to kind of center ourselves and kind of, you know, form the head, get right with Voltron, and you know, sort of respect the past and celebrate the past as we look to the future.
Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for talking to us.
Thank you, Michael. This has
inviting us out
been
here.
and thank you, Voltron, as always.
This is RetroBlasting signing off from World Events Productions headquarters, WEP,
WEP.
In St. Louis.
Let's go Voltron Force. It'll be like Unicron versus Voltron. You know, that's what I want to see, like the planet-eating Robeast versus like the defender of the universe, just clashing. Wouldn't that be awesome?
The scene in the training, Chuck rips the missile off the vehicle.
Yeah.
And throws it without actually using the targeting system. He just picks it off and throws it.
That's right.
And then Beachhead's like, Chuckles, next time, use the rocket launcher. Yet no RC.
They haven't made it.
Still haven't made an RC. Not based on the movie. I know.
You're getting on me about Mattel. Okay. Oh no, I threw
go
it
ahead.
off.